Chairperson Hubbard.
Here.
Vice Chairperson Mahalski.
Here.
Commissioner Romagio.
Here.
Commissioner McKay.
Here.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Here. Let the record reflect that quorum is present. Citizens' comments. Any citizens' comments related to the jurisdiction of the Parks Commission? Citizens' comments?
Do you want us at the beginning or when it's the
Well,
individual?
any one of the items, 1 through 5, are open for discussion.
At the time.
At the time of the item.
Okay.
You can make comments now if you'd like, but you'll have time to speak on the item also.
Okay.
Any citizens' comments? See, now before we get started, I'd like to welcome our newest commissioner, Kelly McKay. Kelly, welcome.
Thank you.
And, we're looking forward to working with you, and I know that, speaking for myself anyway, I'm sure for the rest of the commission, we're happy to have you and looking forward to working with you doing great things together. Approval of the minutes for the meetings held on April 11th, 2022.
So moved.
Second. Second to approve. Any additional corrections? Seeing none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carries. Item 1, please.
Request from 72 Hours Entertainment LLC to amend application for the Cool by the Lake Volkswagen Audi Enthusiast event on August 13, 2022, to request the following: use of Kennedy Park for setup at 8 a.m., overnight security in the park August 12th until morning of event on April 13th.
This is a motion for, this is a matter for public hearing. Is anybody here wishing to speak on item 1? Anyone here to speak on item 1? Anyone here wishing to speak on item 1?
Cooler by the Lake?
Yeah.
Item 1 on parks. Are you here for that one?
I'm sorry?
Are you here for item 1 on parks?
For Parks, yes.
Yes. Item 1?
Yes.
Okay, well, just reading it, if you'd like to speak on item 1, or just, if you're here for questions and comments, that's fine. We are on item 1 right now, and the public comment period is still
For Cooler by the Lake, correct?
Yeah.
open. Yes.
Okay, I can answer any questions you guys have.
Okay, all right.
Name
Any-
and
Yeah,
name and
name and
address,
record,
please.
sir.
Sure, Jason Axelrod, 1862 East Belvedere Road, Grays Lake, Illinois.
All right, thank you, sir. Anyone else who wish to speak on item 1? Anyone else? Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Any commissioners?
I have a question.
Yes, sir?
You're doing this thing as far as overnight security. Could, if it is all possible, can you tell me who's going to be doing the security?
Sure, actually, that just changed last week. Our sponsor, one of the major sponsors pulled out, so we won't be requiring security anymore. It's gonna just be the day of event on Saturday.
Okay.
So we can strike the security thing. So the only thing I did have for you folks was I just wanted to make sure we're okay with. So the event Saturday, I just want to make sure we're okay with the porta potties, tents, and the beer trailer being dropped off on Friday and then picked up either Sunday or Monday.
The concern about security, of course, is there's going to be cars parked there overnight, and nobody wants anything to be damaged.
Yeah, there will not be any more. The major sponsor that was supposed to come in Friday night for Saturday's event has, because of the Ukraine things, had to pull out for budgetary reasons.
All right.
Next question.
Any comments from staff on?
Just one question based on the comment I just heard is we've asked for additional setup for Friday, but his event is for Friday, Saturday, so I don't know if he wants Sunday as well for takedown.
So the event is just Saturday. It's noon to 6. The Friday setup won't be required anymore with the sponsor, other than possibly the tent vendor. It's the one the city typically works with. I don't know if they set up the morning off or Friday night.
And do you do takedown on Sunday? Takedown on Sunday?
We can amend the application right now.
Right, that's what I.
Okay, yeah, as far as the setup and takedown, it's been so hard with a lot of these companies because they're so short staffed that they're like, I can't promise we can do it Sunday or we can do it Monday, but they're saying that they can have everything out by Monday the latest, but there's a possibility on Sunday as well.
So if that's the case, you may want to consider extending to Monday for takedown.
We can make that part of the, we have a motion, right, and a second, so if we could include, if that's okay with the maker of the motion, and second to extend the time as suggested by staff, and all the other on the record. I guess provisions, if it's okay with the motion, take the motion. And a second?
Has motion been made?
Do we have a motion?
No.
Oh,
Motion has been
okay,
made, yeah.
all right. We can move as presented with the alterations by staff.
Well, I'll so move as presented by staff.
For a second? Second. A second, any further discussion of the motion?
I thought she had a question.
All in favor, aye?
No, I got the answer.
Okay. All right, no problem. All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, that motion carries. Item 2, please.
Request from Kenosha County Parks for use of Kennedy Park on Saturday, September 24th, 2022, to hold the fall wheel ride event. Temporary use of parking lot from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
This is a matter for a public hearing. Is there anyone here wishing to speak on item 2? Anyone here to speak on item 2? Anyone here to speak on item 2? Before I close the public hearing, there was a announcement by the applicant that they would not be able to be here to speak, and they're hoping for our support. I, for one, support this. Anybody on the commission comments?
Make a motion to approve.
Second approved. Any discussion of the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carries. Item 3, please.
Request from Hannah Bidding to place a memorial marker at a memorial tree in Anderson Park in memory of Anthony McKeever.
Okay, before I open this up to a public hearing, I would like to entertain a motion to move to table this item based on the fact that there's a lawsuit in process that is on record. I have a record of lawsuit. It's mentioned the city of Kenosha, among others. And any possibility that action taken on this item could be construed as this body or anybody else taking a position on this. We're going to move to table that. That essentially means that it's not coming back to this committee or this commission until we vote to bring it back. So there's a lot of other possible interesting complexities of law. So I would entertain a motion basically to table this
So moved.
based on what I stated.
And I'll second it.
And move to second. So with that, I will open this up to a public hearing. Anyone here wish to speak on item number 3?
Good afternoon, Kevin Mathewson, 56th Street, Unit 2295. I used to sit in one of these chairs. I was on the Parks Commission and I was on Public Welfare and Safety Committee. This is kind of a political trick, what they're doing. If you notice, they all kind of knew what they were gonna do before we started here, which means they were talking outside of the presence of the camera, of the public. It's not allowed. It's a public meetings violation. I think the city needs to send a strong message. What happened on August 25th was justified. Defend the lawsuit. You can say no to this. Whatever attorney said you can't say no to a plaque because of a lawsuit is nuts. And I doubt that a good attorney told you that. So don't play games. Deny this. This is a man who was a felon who held a knife to his sister's throat and his brother's throat, sliced his brother's neck, choked him, threatened to burn his family's house down, multiple felon, multiple violent criminal his whole life. He played a stupid game on August 25th, and unfortunately he lost his life. Him and his family deserve our prayers, but they do not deserve to be honored and memorialized in this city. There is a finite number of places to memorialize folks, good people. Don't play games and table this. Vote it down. Send a message to the taxpayers. Don't take the coward's way out. Let's just table it so we're not, we can appease both sides of the aisle. Take a side. Come on, that's what you're elected for. Oh, we're not saying yes or no. Vote this down. Stop this nonsense of trying to appease both parties. This is a stupid idea. She's not even here. She lives in Illinois. We're not talking about a good person. We're talking about a person who made bad choices his whole life. It's not going to affect the lawsuit. That's insane. I'm not a lawyer, but you don't have to be a lawyer. She wants to put a plaque in a tree. You're thinking that if you say no to that, they're going to win the lawsuit? He was found innocent of shooting the guy, not guilty. A tree or a plaque is not going to change any lawsuit. They're going to lose the lawsuit. So, vote this down. Don't take the coward's way out and table it. Probably most of us here want you to vote it down. Okay? So please, I know the tricks. I used to sit there. Don't do the tricks. Vote it down, which is what the people want. Thank you.
Thank
This matter for public hearing, anyone else who wishes to speak?
Yes, hi, my name is Barbara Griffin, 2007 81st Street, Kenosha, Wisconsin. I am also against this plaque for this gentleman who is a felon, who is violent. This is not what Kenosha needs to be memorializing. We have many good people who work very hard for this city, who've done many nice things for this city. This gentleman is not one of them. This is not something that we should be holding up to our youth to emulate his performance in any way, anyhow, of his life. He is a sad creature, but not one that should have a plaque in one of our city parks. And I feel, as Kevin, this body and this city needs to sign a strong message. We are not gonna coddle felons and dangerous people in this city. The people of Kenosha want a safe city. And I think this plaque definitely sends the wrong message. And if you have your lawyer, we'd like to hear what he wrote to you folks to say that this needs to be tabled. It would be nice to hear that in this meeting. Thank you.
Just to comment on that, our lawyers advise us, they don't tell us what to do. They give us advice based on interpreting the law and the risk, and we're here to protect the city along with the people and other citizens. So, thank you. Anyone else who wishes to speak on this item?
Yeah, I just want to agree with that.
Ma'am, we just need your name and your home address.
Amber Camp, 4800 16th Ave, Kenosha.
Thank you.
I don't think it's right to memorialize someone who's a criminal, who didn't live here, and he shouldn't have been out there either, causing all them problems. And I think you guys should shut it down too, and just send a message that we're not going to play that here. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else who wishes to speak on this item?
Yeah.
Yes.
Kevin Woods, you've got my information right here.
All right, thank you.
I'm just gonna say it like I missed my first thoughts of all the bonehead things that you guys could consider. Please don't consider this. This is an insult to the people that have memorials, that have done good things, not for the people that we died because of this. He was a horrible person. And I can guarantee you that that memorial is going to be vandalized. I'm not saying I'm going to do it, but I can guarantee that there's gonna be a lot of people out there that wanna vandalize it. That tree's probably gonna get cut down. I'm just saying, do you really want that to happen as well? It's just like Kevin said, the lady's not even here. She's not even here to talk about it. So why are we even here talking about it? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else who wishes, just need your name and home address.
Hi, I'm Amanda Ledweski, 3814 114th Place, Pleasant Prairie. Lifelong resident of Kenosha County, grew up in the city. Members of the committee and staff, I was recently elected to the 16th District County Board Supervisor position as well. I'm also here as representative of our local chapter of Moms for Liberty. I heard today from probably about half a dozen people in my district on this matter, as well as many members of Moms for Liberty locally. So I'm just here to let you know what they said, because I'm not sure if they reached out to you or not. I would have to say that collectively, the tone of the messages was in opposition of this, and they would like a decision today. I personally, and I know that other people I spoke to today, echoed the idea that, yes, this family and this person and his soul need our prayers. And every human life has values, and survivors of people who have passed away, regardless of the life that they led, certainly have the right to memorialize that person in a way that helps comfort them. But when you take it public and it infringes on the people around you unnecessarily or even causes harm, it's a different matter. And people I spoke to today said it's fine for them to grieve in the way that we want to grieve, but now they're bringing their grief to us in a way that hurts us. It would be wonderful if the city could plant a tree in the memory of every single person who submitted, a request and say, my family member, my friend, my so-and-so died, can we plant a tree? We know we can't do that. There are finite resources, and we have to prioritize who gets to have these spots. I'm thinking to myself, if you had a stack of applications for tree memorials for victims of domestic violence, would they be prioritized over Anthony Huber? Because we know that he was convicted as a felon with that charge multiple times. How would you feel, or how would one of your constituents feel walking past this memorial, had they lost someone or had they themselves been a victim of domestic violence. And there's this memorial of this man who really was quite the criminal. Please consider how an approval of this application might be received by the community at large before making a final decision. While it may serve as a memorial to associates of Mr. Huber, who reside in Illinois, it may also serve as a very painful reminder of the destruction, violence, and division that we all experienced in August of 2020. It may help a few, but I think it's gonna hurt a lot. And I agree with the rest of the folks here today who say just make a decision today, get this over with. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else who wishes to speak? So we just need your name and home address for the record. You can write it down, you can say it publicly. So.
My name is Bob Layton. I live at 9102 3rd Avenue in Pleasant Prairie. You know, the loss of life is always tragic. And I remember those days. I mean, those days were filled with sadness, me personally. And I asked the board to deny this motion. I mean, is this the type of the character of a person we want to memorialize who engages in violent acts? Is this, and I also want you to consider, is this the type of character that we want to have as a role model in our community for sons and my daughters, you know, to look up to? So I ask you to deny this request.
Thank you. Anyone else who wishes to speak in this item? Anyone else? Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Gentlemen, we have a motion and a second. Discussion, yes, sir.
First of all, I get what all yous are saying, but we're not approving it at all. So just remember that, we're not approving it. We're waiting to see what happens. And I understand what Mr. Mathewson is saying. I get what all you people are saying. We're tabling it, we're not deferring it. Deferring it means you put it back on a certain date. This might not ever come back to us. So, you know, it's.
And then we still make comments?
You know, I will actually, I was just acknowledging that we received a written comment that I'd like to have written in the record, and people on here want to do that. So I will open this up to a public hearing. So that means if you, we'll vote. Need a motion?
That we reopen public hearing.
Second. All in favor, aye? Aye. Anyone else may speak? Anyone else who wishes to speak in this item, please state your name and address for the record, please.
Okay, I'm Joyce Clifford, same address, 9102 3rd Avenue, Pleasant Prairie. And I do not agree with your statement you just made. You can certainly put it into this. There is no reason to table, delay, whatever. You know you're not, I don't understand your comments when you say we're not approving it. Are you saying that if you were to pass this today, that's not an approval? Because it is. And the fact that you're not ending this discussion today by saying we're gonna just not approve it, no more discussion needed, you basically are, you know, why drag this out? We all know this man is not someone we want to memorialize. Kenosha is a great town, and there's a lot of things going on in this country where we're showing, oh, it's okay to do violent things because we're gonna let you take a bath and now we're memorializing you? What is that? Kenosha is a great town, and we need to start showing an example of the kind of people we want in this town, and we do not memorialize people with the kind of criminal background this Sheldon has.
If I may just comment, the essence of the motion is that this body taking action, whether it's in the affirmative or not, whether it's to approve or deny, it could be construed as us taking a position. There was a pending lawsuit that names the city of Kenosha et al., and there is a lot going on right now, and it just so happens that it is our right as a body to table. Tabling just means that we would have to vote to put it back on the agenda of a future date. So we are not, if this passes as tabling, we're not taking action on this. This is not gonna have any action. So it will not be an actionable item at that particular point in time. All right, anyone else who wishes to speak this up? Yes?
Am I allowed to speak again?
Typically not, but I will allow it.
Well, I think what the people are getting confused about is that you're saying that you're listening to legal counsel, but you don't have to. They're not telling you, they're advising you. And we're also advising you. And so we're asking you to just squash it right now. You have that power, do you not? To squash it right now and just say, we're not going to table it, we're just going to squash it. We're gonna nip it in the bud and say no right now. And I think that's what the people here are asking you to do, not to table it, to maybe slide it under somewhere where none of us maybe see that, and it gets passed and then it goes to city council. I think that's what the people here are afraid of. So I'm just trying to explain to you what the people here, I think, are trying to say to you. Thank you.
Is there anything you can share from your council as to how a denial of this request would come into conflict? We don't know the details of the court case. So in order for the public to be satisfied with the tabling, they might want to, if there's anything you can share about how it may be misconstrued as taking sides or showing favoritism or something that's in conflict with the lawsuit.
Speaking for myself, it's preserving the integrity of the judicial process to ensure the best outcome for the city, right? Because we're in part here to protect
To
the
not
city.
introduce an element that
Exactly.
may or may
So
not.
I'm gonna take what I believe is the lowest risk path. I will be supporting the tabling. I believe it's the lowest risk path. I may have my own personal opinions. I'm happy to take phone calls from anybody in the audience. By the way, my phone number's out there. I would be delighted to receive some phone call from any one of you, and I can talk to you about my feelings on this in a way that's most appropriate and the right setting. So, thank you. Yes, sir.
Thanks for allowing me to speak again. I just wanted to point out to those of us watching on YouTube home, and we had 3 members of this board of 5 say, we're gonna table it. You know what that means, right? A quorum of this board met behind closed doors today. Am I lying?
You are not to miss.
I know you don't like it.
There are open records laws, sir, and what you said is false. If you have one-on-one conversations, not.
Did you talk about it or not? With others on this board, yes or no?
We talked.
Of course you did.
You can talk one-on-one, you cannot have a standing or walking quorum.
Are you gonna allow me to speak or no?
Go ahead, but please stick to the law.
So the chairman and other members of this body, 3 of them, which is the majority, violated the law, and this guy's going nuts. So I'm like, whoa.
Because you're misconstruing the law.
I understand that you're taking the coward's way out, and you don't like that I'm calling you out, Eric. But these people you just heard, we want you to say no today. You want to hold it out here for a day that we're all worried about some other war, and then you're going to quietly pass it. We know how you guys work. We know how the government works. You broke the law when you had a meeting behind closed doors or called,
Recess for 5 minutes.
and now you don't want to hear
Let
it.
him speak.
Okay?
Let him
So I
speak.
just want people to be aware that 3 of you said we're tabling it, and I guess I'd probably bet $100 all 5 of you are going to unanimously agree, which means you all 5 talked about this. You can't do that. That's a walking quorum. That's a quorum. You guys broke the law. I know you don't want to hear it, and you want to slam the gavel like a lunatic. Doesn't change what you did is wrong. And if you want to be a coward and kick it down the line, that's your prerogative. All 5 of you, none of you had an opponent. So you just do whichever you want because no one runs against you. Don't be a coward for once. Vote no on this crap. It's not going to affect the lawsuit. They said that the police department is responsible for what Kyle did, and the jury said Kyle didn't do anything wrong. That's on this. We're talking about a victim.
This is not pertinent to the motion. Stick to
Whatever.
it.
Just do the right thing, and for once, stop playing political games. You know, oh, it's the least risk. Well, sometimes you got to take a risk to do the right thing, Eric. Sometimes you got to take a risk to do the right thing. And you're setting this up because you want to settle with the families, and that's messed up.
Anyone else here wish to speak in this item? Anyone else? Anyone else? I would entertain a motion for a 5-minute recess.
Well, you want to allow the written,
I'd like to, well, we can do that if you'd like.
well,
Would you like a 5-minute recess? Sure.
Need a second?
Second.
Move the second, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. You guys could please go to the room. Thank you. We'll let you know when we're back in session.
Wait, is this a closed session? Is it noticed as a closed session? You guys can't speak without, we don't have to leave.
Everybody can stay there.
Yeah, we don't have to leave, folks. They can't talk in behind closed doors. Stay here.
Kevin, maybe that's the way you operated when you were on the council, but that's not the way I operate.
He just tried to have a closed session without it being noticed. And that's why he said we need to come back in here. Rocco, thank you. I'm right, he knows it. I know you're upset, but we have the right to be in here. Go talk somewhere else. And take a Xanax, bro.
Thank you, Kevin.
Eric put it on the agenda. He's the chairman, he put it on the agenda.
Historically, most of these things are you don't check anybody else. This is the first one. And if we do this with one guy right now, we might be opening ourselves, no, I don't know them.
Yeah, so luckily we were, it's ridiculous. It shouldn't have even made it to the agenda. She wants to do it in Illinois, where do you live? That is not what's in the We need everybody to talk. I'm sorry.
I called and I did my email. I called and talked to everyone, except for one I couldn't. But I said, no, I did all that.
No.
It's the bright spot for it.
Thank you.
Oh, someone's gonna speak on that. So you guys just do whatever you want.
How many kids you got?
2.
What's in it for dinner? I'm having a thank you for people who.
Send me a text, I'm not sure, I have to talk with the boss. Tomorrow's my daughter's birthday.
Absolutely.
Well, that's
Never
the
sent me
problem.
something?
Yeah, send me a text, 40
A
minutes.
full-time job just trying to.
That's why.
Luckily, I kind of.
We only knew about this happening because of what you wrote.
Honestly,
I didn't,
I
right, I
cited
wouldn't.
it, I'm sorry. I already
Right,
made
I
it with
would've
my
never known
campaign
about
and
it
you took
either,
it.
so.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you almost got it. I mean, that was close.
When I see how many people
Yeah,
voted
yeah.
in my ward for him, you want it, you can have it, but he's not having it. But yeah, 47 votes.
Joe, I forgot.
Maybe next time,
We
but
ever
I don't think
sell
there's gonna be next time.
that?
Don't have to, but I'm gonna make him, Kathleen.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Make him.
Would you please?
Yep.
Yeah.
Any good time better than others?
Anytime after 9, because we gotta talk about Pepsi warehouse.
You know what, I hate to do this to you, but I gotta give her.
So, office phone?
He can.
Let me text my, well, I can't text my, yeah, tomorrow, text me.
Or tonight, if you don't get home
My
tonight.
guy from Texas. There must be some question or something on the rehab.
Can we call her with a nice picture, so let's take
Yeah, they won't let you have beer. I watched the video, I was on the plane until I came out Saturday.
Oh, that is a biggie. He was like,
You know, in case like that, it's worse.
City attorney, assistant city attorney's coming.
Oh, okay.
If they haven't by now, then I will.
You guys said it. Tell me anybody how to do anything. I talk about the agenda.
If I didn't know anybody, it's for me.
We do it. We didn't do it collectively. We didn't do it. Is there anybody on the call with you?
Please say it wasn't him.
It's called a walking quorum, you know the rules.
Well, we've got an attorney coming, so we'll see what you have to say about that.
It's cute, it really is, Eric.
No. See him anywhere? You don't mind, just talk to him. No. She'll be on his way. Thank you.
She was coming.
Matt.
I didn't hear you for a second.
We're waiting on the city attorney.
It's good. All right, we need a motion to go back into session after recess.
So moved.
Second, all in favor, aye? Aye. Chair votes aye. Just want to let everybody know, we have a city attorney here. For questions, if we get to that point, we do have one more statement I'd like written in the record. Before we go back into open session, I want to apologize for getting overreacted, but when somebody attacks the commission and makes accusations as significant as walking quorum and violating open meetings laws, it gets to me, all right? And I think it's very, I don't believe that we violated the law. Alderpersons do talk with alderpersons. You might realize that. We did not do within a gathering of 3 and more people. I talked to the new person about the agenda, asking if he needed some help, explanations. I don't tell people how to vote. I don't know anybody on this body that tells people how to vote. And when somebody makes an accusation is significant, is saying that we're breaking the law, you can imagine how it can probably get to you. And I apologize for losing my cool, but we have a city attorney here. He's going to witness it from this point forward. And we do still have an open item here, item number 3. And it's still open to public comment. Anyone here wishing to speak in this item? And by the way, it's not, we don't typically have to let people speak more than once. I'm a firm believer in letting people, good people of our citizenry speak. And I did that, maybe regrettably in one case at least. But I would like to make sure that everybody has an option to speak. Anyone else here wishing to speak in this item? Anyone else? I'll let you speak for a second time.
Well, I actually would like this lady who I think had a very good point, because you talked about having advisement from an attorney. And why aren't you taking advice from the people who elect you? And I think she raised a valid point. What was that advice that you got that makes you think you ought to just table this versus just put it into it today?
So ma'am, if I could also, thank you for your comment. This is a comment period also, and occasionally we will comment back, but it's not a requirement, right? We're here to take public input, and I made some comments. Sometimes we choose to, sometimes we don't, so I appreciate your comments. We can't always, we don't always have to answer them, or we may not.
And you did talk to more than one person at the beginning. I know the 2 of you talked before, so we don't know what those quiet conversations were. You know, you're saying you didn't have these conversations, but there were multiple conversations before the meeting came on. So, I don't know what to think of people.
Anyone else who wishes to speak in this item? Anyone else? Anyone else? Seeing none? We could read that one in the record, please.
Peter and Heidi Jentz, 9621 66th Street. Sirs, we are residents of the city of Kenosha and would like to voice our total opposition to a memorial of any kind to convicted violent felon Anthony Huber at any location in the city of Kenosha. Convicted violent felon Anthony Huber unfortunately lost his life as a direct result of his attack on Kyle Rittenhouse at the not-so-peaceful Kenosha riots during the summer of 2020. Kyle Rittenhouse was found not guilty by a jury of his peers for defending himself from the violent attack of convicted felon Huber. Any attempt to create a memorial to a violent convicted felon such as Huber is noting less than a political statement. Moreover, it is a slap at the peaceful, law-abiding citizens of the city of Kenosha. Memorials are intended to honor people who we may want to hold up as an example to ourselves and our children as people who we should emulate. Do you really want to encourage your children and grandchildren to emulate a convicted violent felon like Anthony Huber? We simply cannot express our opposition to a memorial for violent felon Huber in strong enough terms, vote against this ill-conceived effort, and abandon any efforts to memorialize violent felon Huber that may once again arise in the future. Sincerely, Peter and Heidi Young.
Thank you. With that, we will hold the public hearing for a second time. Do we have a motion and a second?
I'm gonna pull my second. So see if somebody else wants to second it.
A motion?
I'll stand by my motion.
Motion dies for
Lack of
lack of a second.
Good. Question for Mr. Knight. By voting this one way or the other, well, first of all, have we, to your recollection, ever gone back and looked at the personal history of people in the past that have had these memorial plaques?
Alderman Mahalski, I've not ever been involved with the issuing of memorial plaque, memorial trees, memorial benches, bricks, any of those things. So what the process and procedure has been in order to investigate or review a potential applicant, I'm unaware of. I would defer to the parks or the public works department for the procedures. I don't know.
To staff, have this ever?
We accept those, and under the ordinance, they come to this body if it's a tree and a plaque for approval, denial, or some form of action.
Very well. Now, I have talked to the alderman of the district where Anderson Park is, Keith Rosenberg, today. I haven't talked to all of the people here. Maybe Mr. Mathewson has operated that way when he was on the council. I don't know if too many of us would do that. But we haven't done any walking or quorum, et cetera. But Keith Rosenberg is the alderman where Anderson Park is, and he expressed outrage that people would even seek to deny it. I personally, I'm inclined to say no, but he's expressed outrage because in the past, nobody has had their thing. You know, right now, we all know, I've listened to these people, and my understanding is, you know, Mr. Mathewson has posted something and they've gotten the information, and this has brought a bunch of people here, and that they got the information from Mr. Mathewson.
True information,
What?
true information.
What information?
It's true information.
I have not said anything that is,
I'm just saying, you're claiming the information, but it's true.
I don't qualify, well, he also gave some.
Sir, please do not address
Untrue information here
Yes,
tonight.
Thank you.
It is also positive if we deny this thing, and like I say, I'm inclined to deny it, but if we deny this, we are also opening up the city because in the past, we have not followed this thing, never checked any backgrounds, that the family here, Hannah Giddings and all that, might have grounds for another lawsuit because they're being treated differently than we have any of the others that have come forward.
Speculation.
That's, public hearing is not, it's not open right now. Now, like I say, I'm inclined to say no. I've talked to people. I understand why people think this is a bad idea. I think this should never have been brought forward in the first place, but I also think that I, like Mr. Howgard, don't want the city to be sued. I want to have absolutely no grounds for the city to be sued. If we have to vote this thing up or down tonight, I will say no. But at the same time, I don't want to see the city made liable for a lawsuit. And people, right now, these days, people are very, very quick and eager to get a lawyer to say, well, I'm gonna sue the city because they have deep pockets, or we've been offended, or we've been treated unfairly, or a group of people headed by one individual gets a large group of people here to say, well, this is a horrible thing, and we're gonna get this, a lot of individuals angry, and so because of the anger, we're gonna sway this body. I'm not swayed by your anger, but I am swayed by, I don't think it's necessarily the best choice right now. But I do think Mr. Hallgaard was right. We are opening ourselves up to, legal ramifications that I don't think we should be. That's it.
If I can just clarify that, I believe that there's a possibility for risk. I'm not saying it's imminent risk. I believe that the best thing to do is to table this. I think it puts the city at the least possible risk. We take no action, the applicant doesn't get their way for the foreseeable future. Speaking for myself, I let the lawsuit all play out, and then we can come back in a different position. I personally, if it comes to a vote of yes or no, I'm not going to support this. I also believe that not supporting it is possibly not the best condition to keep with the city, and that's why I supported the table. But with that, any other comments from the commission? Keep in mind, we don't have a motion yet.
Well, we have a motion, we don't have a second.
We have a motion with no second, correct? A motion?
Do you want to say something at the end? Or you look like you want to say something.
Yeah, I would just like to say, I'm brand new to this committee and to the council. And I literally just picked up this paperwork yesterday, and I did receive calls today. And I don't feel comfortable with making a decision either way on this right now. I understand. I lost a child that has a memorial in this town, and I think it's important for people to memorialize people the way that they feel. I don't necessarily feel that this is a monument being built that the whole city is gonna sit and see like a statue of Columbus there, and so I understand both sides of it, and I don't feel like I need to be forced to make a decision right now on it, and I support tabling.
Is that a second?
That's a second.
Okay, a motion, a second. Table. Any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Chair votes aye. Motion carries 4-1.
Item 4.
Request from the Kenosha Junior Women's Club to place a memorial marker at the